party in here. I like to use the party for an excuse to party.
And there we go. I mean, this is... Hey...
Oh, god damn it. Motherfucker. Really? Really? Dude, what just happened? Did you just leave? Okay, give me a sec. Let me make sure both of our audios are coming through. Well, you could say all you want right now, because apparently it just borked itself when you left. Give me a sec. Say, Xi Jinping? Maybe.
Yo, I heard this was a pretty good stream and shit. Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Am I in there?
Yeah, you're there.
I'm golden?
Yeah, you're golden. Let me get a drink real quick. Cheer up the chat.
Start the chat. Yeah. Hey, folks. Good to be back. We're definitely going to finish up Halo Combat Evolved on this lovely spring evening, which if you're in the Northeast, you'll get the kind of poetic irony of such a comment. Now, one thing I've been talking to Fred about is potentially setting up a Final Fantasy 14 stream. I think that would be kind of fucking cool, wouldn't it? But that's just me. But yeah, I think we're gonna definitely have some fun tonight. We're gonna fucking get through this lovely campaign. And I just... Hello, Fred. I kept them company.
Why does it sound crunchy?
My crunchy?
Well, you're coming through my ears fine, but... something isn't...
Is the streaming audio crunchy? And whose is crunchy?
The streaming audio sounds fine. I sound fine. You kind of sound... like... I don't know how to explain it.
You know what I can do? Well, I could fandangle a couple of settings if you wanna chat while we get this hit. Yeah, I can hear you in the reverb. It's definitely a little bit.
It's a little crispy.
Hold on a second. God damn it, Fred.
I'm sure we'll be fine. We can just finish up.
All right. Fred doesn't want to wait. He thinks
we put this off for too long.
We're keeping the... How many people are watching? We're keeping however many people are watching waiting. Let's get this shit done. I'll have crunchy audio. Let's go. We're ready to beat this.
So we were on keys, as in commander, as in... I wonder, is the guy in Reach the same guy who voiced him in Halo 1?
That is a excellent question that I do not have the answer to.
Let's go kick these fucking guys' ass. Hope we don't skip the opening cutscene. I always love this cutscene.
It is a pretty good cutscene. Alright.
So, you ready to finally fuck up the Covenant? The flood?
I am.
The Cud. The Cood. Because we're fighting both in this level, Covenant and Flood. That's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Does it sound... Do I sound any better? I just,
give me a sec.
lowered the compression a little bit. That's pretty much the only thing I can do midstream.
I mean, it's not nearly as aggressive.
Okay.
We just gotta figure it out, because I'm pretty sure like before it's smoothed out over the time that we played.
Yeah, well, you know, it's probably something in the actual like streaming, from the Xbox, which once you get your next setup, which will be shortly. The one thing I recommend is well, I'll help you set up the fucking like compression and shit. Because you probably want to keep a backup of the streams, but I'm sure you don't want your streams to take up like 40 gigabytes for a 2-hour stream.
By the way,
so like, yeah,
I got a new gun.
I see that.
It's all greasy.
Fucking greasy ass gun.
It was hidden in a weeaboo's piss drawer.
Oh shit.
more than likely, this thing's gonna jam the first time I hit the fucking fire button. Oh no, it works.
There you go.
Oh shit.
This is a nice kind of return to form after a very couple of hectic levels, in my opinion, especially the library. That's
well, it's kind of a
bitch.
revamped run through of the one level where we initially get keys.
Indeed, it is.
This time there's these things.
So yeah, I've been selling Mr. Dead Wars at the prospect of I think we jumped down here, right?
Ooh. Cutscene.
Ooh, Mountain Dew Lime Green.
Gamer fuel. Is that Baja Blast?
Let's get out of here and find another way back.
That's where Taco Bell must have procured it.
They get it from another planet.
Hey, you know it just fucking died.
Oh shit! That was my fault.
That's it.
I was wondering why I got minus points.
So yeah, my current thing at the moment has been kind of on X has been like responding to Lolly's very sensible posts about these retards that I've been talking about for a while that just like pin all the problems on one group. Not to say that one group doesn't have some issues, but like, you know.
Well, it's like these people like for like almost a goddamn decade like use these individuals fucking, and the individuals we're talking about is the Jewish people. They used them as a shield. Now all of a sudden, since it's not convenient or it conflicts with the other thing they have to toe the party line for, all of a sudden everything's done by Jews and they're fucking literally storm posting. It's like something off the Stormfront. You remember that fucking like Nazi website from years ago?
Yeah, and it's
is
a weird
still
kind
up?
I'm sure it is, but those, they're kind of weird bedfellows, you know, these, like, fucking, basically communists and these, like, fucking, these like, super, like, traditional, like, then they've got these Greek statues, they, like, and then there's supposedly Christians. Look, you know, I don't know if, spoiler alert to anybody that's a Christian, the first half of the Bible is, written by Jews.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this. This might be a little bit too much for you, but Jesus Christ was a rabbi. Oops.
No, it's not true.
So, look, I have some of my issues with like Jewish theologians. Like, I think that up until recently, they were very critical. Like, other than some like exceptions, were very critical of Jesus of Nazareth in a way that, you know, was let's just say disagreeable. But like, oh, you can't label. I have issues with Islam theologians too. I'm not going to label a group of 1.4 million Muslims as all bad. I'm not going to label a group of 14 million Jews as all bad. You know, it's fucking insanity. Well, there's even infighting happening between the Protestants and Catholics now on X, which pisses me off. I'm like, okay, yeah, Catholics, Protestants.
It's all just divide and conquer at this fucking point.
It's like, well, they're basically calling each other fake Christians, and I'm like, look, the only fake Christians are fucking Mormons. And secondly, and even then, like, let's not shit on them. they're just weirdos. But secondly, like fucking Protestants and Catholics, I mean, like, yeah, there's differences, but like, how about people just fucking try to get along and maybe just like, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like the moment you like fucking try to like kowtow yourself,
Hornet's nest.
like the moment you try and like call yourself better than thou or better than thy neighbor is completely missing the point of any like religion in the first place. It shouldn't matter like on like a small scale how you worship God, unless it's like something truly fucked up told to you by the voices in your head. But that being the extreme exception, like it shouldn't matter how you worship like your God. Like at the end of the day, like having just having faith in a almighty figure in the first place is an inherently good thing.
Well, and yes, that's completely. That's a completely agreeable point, and it's kind of like the Cole Phelps like position I have, like you know like don't bring up don't bring up religion, especially people that already agree with you on 95% of things. But you know it's funny
Well,
is
it's like talking politics with people. At the end of the day, everybody just ends up matter. Yeah. And like everybody just is like, well, your worst part did this. Well, your worst part did this.
Coolant leakage rate is significant. The ship's reactors
Wouldn't you love to
already
go
critical.
back to like, you know, I'd say like 30 years ago, where yeah, people did talk politics, but like it didn't become their defining.
It wasn't immediately such a fucking like chore, just to talk. Like, because immediately, without missing a beat, every single time these people, like, start talking politics, they have to try and paint you as a bad person for holding a view that differs.
Yeah. And,
I really don't like pedophiles. Yeah, I don't like pedophiles either. Yeah, I think we should just fucking give them the death penalty. No, they should be in prison. Killing is unlawful.
The crash did more damage than I suspected.
You know, you must secretly be a pedophile, and you want to kill all the other pedophiles so you can have the children for yourself. What? No. That's not.
Yeah,
what?
it's very weird how like things that used to be just like a very common sense like debate have just devolved into these like it's really like glorified pissing.
Yeah, it's literally a pissing contest. Like these people who agree on damn near everything are fighting with each other now, and it's getting fucking annoying. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've been watching like one of Wally's streams, and like he'll get into it with like some kid who just needs to shut the fuck up. Like seriously.
Well, can I give you a fun example? Have you watched the new FX Shogun show?
No, but I've heard it's really good.
It is really good, but weirdly enough, there's always people who will never be satisfied. Like I was kind of talking about the Dragon's Dogma. Is that what it's called?
Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
The video game Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah.
So like I was telling you, like I thought that microtransactions was stupid. But like, I was like, I wasn't like gonna burn the game at the cross. Yeah. And like, I said to you, like, I hope they fix it because I would like to get it. And guess what? They announced they're gonna fix a lot of this shit. So now that's a game that's on my radar. But there's some people like, it's never gonna be forgiven. No, never. And then like, there's people that are selectively picking out like scenes from Shogun to make it look like it's as bad as like Halo level writing. It's one scene where one of the Japanese characters shockingly disparages Christians. Tokugawa era fucking Japanese people hung Christians on crosses. Yeah. This is not a bad piece of dialogue. It's accurate.
Literally, like, actually, like, Wally did a stream, like, playing Shogun, and he actually picked the Christian faction. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, say it outright. The Japanese did not quite appreciate the Portuguese coming in and introducing Christianity to their culture.
But the other hilarious part is the main European character they focus on is an Englishman who is obviously Protestant at this point. And it's like the debates I've seen on Twitter are like the scenes in this where they because back in the past Protestants and Catholics really did hate each other.
Oh yeah.
But that's where things are devolving into, which is sad because like I know people that are Protestant, I know people that are Catholic, and they both are generally very good people. And you know, it's like people nowadays can't like once again like they agree on 90% of shit, and then there's like some small differences, and they just fucking spaz out. But you know what else pisses me off? That thing too with like this fucking weird. Like if two games come out that are somewhat similar, even if it's just like play style,
they're copying each other no matter what.
Yeah. Or like the shit with like the last Ronin. Oh, it's copying Ghost of Tsushima. It's made by the Neo developers. It plays like Neo. It doesn't play like Ghost of Tsushima. You stupid cocksuckers. And it doesn't. You know what's funny? People were bashing that game because graphics look out there. But is it fun? Yeah. Is the story cool?
At this point, I am so beyond giving a fuck about graphics because I just want a game that functions on fucking release.
And you know what, Fred? It doesn't look like a bad game. It looks like it looks. You know what? And somebody said this. It looks like Neo 2. That's not a bad game graphically. It doesn't look like it. Fuck. You know what? If a game looks PS2 or better, I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Look at this fucking game back in the day. Look at its old graphics. These graphics, they might not look the best by today's fucking fidelity ass backwards standard. But yeah, you wanna know why? Because they had fucking design. Like they had a stylistic vision that they followed for fucking 3 games, and then a new party got involved and the new one doesn't look like any of the others.
Yeah, and by the way, those microtransactions, I think they're stupid and gay, but at the same time, the people, there's just people they're on our side, but there's people that will take something that they know will get them views and they'll selectively edit it. Because
well, like, you want to know what pisses me off most about that microtransaction, like kerfuffle? So many times it goes fucking ignored. For every other game that they fucking like, all of a sudden it's a game that they like aren't really interested in, but want to fucking take it down a peg.
It's always a Japanese game, by the way.
Always a Japanese game too. Go figure. The Japanese fucking like racism of game reviewers is still going strong in today's world. But like, I digress. But like, but like, it's at the fucking point where like they're talking about a game that I'm not even convinced they were interested in the first place. And they're talking about something that is in every fucking game because you ignore it when it's a game you like, but all of a sudden it's a game that you couldn't give a fuck about, and now it's a problem. Why did I blow up?
I shot one of those dizzy monsters.
But yeah, like, legit, it's a tale as old as fucking time. It doesn't matter until it does. What the fuck happened?
I was getting shotgunned and I tried to jump away and I landed in the water because I'm retarded.
But it's like, I'm so sick of the double standard that these people have. At least when I bitch about something, I'll bitch about it consistently.
Yeah.
But Fred, these motherfuckers don't have any fucking principles.
Fred, you're consistent to a T.
I'm consistent to a fucking fault. I annoy the fuck out of you.
I agree.
I annoy the fuck out of Jack. But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't fucking like it. I'm not gonna forsake what I believe just because it's convenient.
Well, I think where we get irritated is where your convictions, you think that someone's... let me just put it this way. I'm not trying to stir a pot. I think sometimes, though, you assume that, like, people, like when, like, Jack or I do something, that we're, like, you know, self-sacrificing our convictions or something. But I think it's just a matter of perspective where, like, we are a little bit more pragmatic with shit. It's not like we're fucking, like, it's not like I'm going to, like, Gochi open for Cripple's money to do, like, a Gamer Fuel ad. It's just that, you know, you're like a fucking, what is that movie? No Country for Old Men. Or is it There Will Be Blood? What is the one?
Am I Anton Chigurh?
Yes!
Yeah, man.
No, not quite, but you know what I'm fucking saying. You know what
Anton Chigurh in the end gets proven to be a lame pussy though, because he's like he's offended by the fact that this woman won't play his game. And he's like, I'll just fucking kill you because your lack of a choice means you want to die.
Gotcha. All right, the analogy breaks down a little bit.
No, but I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I do find the comparison ironic.
Harvey Two-Face in the dark guide.
That's
And I'm
literally just
just-
Anton Chigurh. but like I love it because me and Jack always go back and forth about like oh god, oh I forgot the fucking author. You know the author.
I do, but I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh god, the guy who wrote No Country for Old Men and Blood Meridian.
Oh, you like I'm gonna fucking remember the guy's name. I know who you're talking about.
Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue, but
Listen.
literally we go back and forth about
Okay,
like just like
Battleman's
Anton
a mess.
Chigurh just like
I can't
shitting all over the
access the
judge
ship's
from Blood
schematics.
Meridian
My
for
records
being
indicate that
a
a
fucking
shuttle station-
sadistic faggot. Meanwhile, he's above it all.
Well, there's a lot of weird shit like that, you know. But then again, not without naming names, but I know somebody that has a seething hatred of American Psycho.
Who hates American Psycho?
I'm
Oh,
not gonna name names. Yeah.
I know. Jack isn't a fan of Patrick Bateman. He definitely doesn't like.
Well,
the
I
fucking
mean
book.
that's kind of the main component of the book. That's
You're,
like
you're
saying I-
supposed to fucking hate Patrick Bateman though, especially in the book, even more so in the movie.
Well, it's kind of, isn't that weird though? Like with Gen Z males, because they're so starved for any type of real male role model, that they come up with like the Sigma male shit, and it's like I can't
it's like-
blame them
I
for it.
love the fact that literally, like, if they even read the book of like American Psycho instead of just like relying on the movie, like painting an almost kind of nuanced depiction of like Bateman, because like in the movie it's not obvious whether or not he's just fucking crazy and hallucinating everything, but in the book it's very explicit, and like you just by the end he's like, from how Jack explains it to me, he's just writing down in a diary, very matter of fact and very nonchalantly, just explaining how he like eviscerates a pregnant woman, like fucks the fetus, and then eats poop and pee. Just like not a guy you're supposed to aspire to be, nonetheless.
Sounds like a fucking Serbian film.
That's the book. Except you're not, like, once again, like, it's not like Patrick Bateman is being forced to do these things. He's just such a brain-dead yuppie that he's reverting to a monkey man.
Well, and you know, here's the thing. What always bothers me whenever there's something that tries to go for shock value is like that very easy kind of low-hanging fruit. I find Lovecraftian horror, or like, you know that short story,
Yeah,
I have no mouth and I must scream.
that's
where
a
they
good
made it into
one.
a game.
I love Harlan Ellison.
I love that kind of Geigerest horror. I think that that's a lot cooler than like, you know, oh, this person fucking cooked a baby.
Well, it's existentialism, whereas everything like the other stuff is like kind of shock value.
It's just
Both
reptile
deserve a
brain
place.
shit. Yeah, but I feel like the other one deserves a much smaller place, but it ends up getting 90% of like horror movies that do like body horror go for the former, not the latter. Even that one guy that people jerk off about, that fucking body horror guy. I'm like, this shit's just grotesque. It's not even interesting. You know, maybe it's just because I'm a fucking philosophical weirdo. When it's just grotesque for the sake of being grotesque, and there's not much more to it, it just doesn't do much for me.
What body horror one are you thinking about? What's the movie or the book?
It's one of those highfalutin kind of faggoty ones. It's the son of another. The director's famous, and it's the son of the famous director, Cohen, some fucking name like that.
Oh, I think I know vaguely who you're talking about.
He did some like dystopian future thing where like people. It was kind of like a shittier version of Hellraiser, where everybody gets like it's just like, basically it's ubiquitous to be immortal, and like so then people develop like fucking like satisfaction off in like torturing others and shit, and I don't know, it's just like some.
That sounds like the plot to Snowpiercer.
Yeah, but this is Snowpiercer did it pretty well. This is like just fucking stupid. It just doesn't do it for me. I know some people it does. For me, I'm not a big horror buff, other than like there's two types of horror I like. I like really campy fucking shit, or I like existential, kind of like The Shining or like Lovecraftian shit. I know that's like that's what does it for me. And then there's a couple of exceptions, but like even like fucking Saw. Like
Yeah.
the first one I actually think is pretty decent, and it's because it doesn't need to show you everything to accomplish the it makes you
Yeah.
the most squeamish because it's not self-indulgent when it does. And then the 2 and 3 are okay. Then after that they just lost me. It just became
Well,
became torture porn.
it's one of those like movies that got addicted to the plot twist. Like, oh, this guy was secretly working for Jigsaw the whole time. And by the final movie, I do believe it, like, it turned out the guy who cut off his fucking foot is now working for Jigsaw for some fucking reason. and then you have the one with Chris Rock that I know nothing about.
Which actually was a better premise. Like, it was trying to be a much more serious film. But I would have rather, like, after 2, after 2, the series would have benefited for becoming much more like a slow burn, kind of, like, Heavy Rain-esque story. Oh,
I got ambushed by an
goddamn.
explosion.
We're being fucking violated on this ship. But, like, I like 28 Days Later. I like I liked The Walking Dead until they kind of lost the plot. I actually stayed with that series till the end, though. And it was kind of weird because, like...
I imagine Walking Dead started to hurt, though.
It did, but, like, it's weird because, like, the last season actually had some really good, like, moments. They changed showrunners. Like, they went to some really shitty showrunners for a few seasons, and then by the end it was starting to get good again, and some of the spin-offs they've done are actually pretty good. But yeah, like, the main series, like, they fucking... Negan, they just did not do... They did not deliver the Negan of the comics. You know.
Well, Negan's basically a fucking football coach who goes fucking crazy, right?
Well, and the problem is, like, Negan's character, like, they end up giving him depth, but they do that way too late. Like, they just, like, and once again,
they play him as, like, the cool bad guy for too long.
Yeah, like, they would have been better off.
That's like if they were to take, like, fucking Omni-Man from Invincible and basically, like, not give him, like, any sort of redemption, but still expect you to like him. God damn it, why do I keep blowing up?
You know what's funny? Zack Snyder, of all people, was on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago.
Oh,
and
God.
It was actually interesting. I don't hate
I don't
Snyder.
hate the guy, but there's some things they did that kind of skeeved me about the dude. Like when he went, oh God, what was the show? But basically he went on the show that was hosted by a couple of black guys, and, like, it was during the, like, Stop Asian Hate, like, thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is it was a very like I don't want to say rightfully, but it was a very, like pro-Asian, but also inherently, like, anti-black sort of movement about Asians getting stomped out by fucking ghetto dickhead thugs, like, for no fucking reason other than they're Asian. 'Cause I keep blowing up! And he basically went on that fucking show and, like, looked them dead in the eye and was like, yeah, I believe in Stop Asian Hate. And just stared at these guys. I was like, dude, time and fucking place. These are excited fans. What the fuck?
Well, he probably just put his foot in his mouth.
That's what. A lot of directors have a horrible tendency to do that.
Well, Fred, let's be honest. There's been a lot worse. That is stupid what he did. There's been a lot worse in Hollywood than what.
Yeah, recently alone.
Historically too. Look up what they did to Judy Garland. It was not good. And that was but no. Listen. Anyways,
all I have to say is one thing. Disney. What about the Uyghurs? You want to talk about Muslim genocide? Fuck Palestine. What about the Uyghurs?
Yeah, that's a legitimate. Well, and like Alex Jones is like even starting to use the term genocide, and I'm like, I am more than willing to admit that Israel has committed war crimes. I think it's clearly there's something wrong when in retaliation of a let's not deny that there's a horrible thing that happened to the Israelis on October 7th.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened was
fucking
terrible.
Palestinians got all fucking
He's
like
delirious.
up in their own
We have to
fucking
find
guff
him.
like they always do, and all of a sudden Israel was like, "No, you want to play that game? Let's play." And now you got a bunch
Yes.
of monkeys throwing poop at each other in the desert.
Well, I think we're oversimplifying it, but sure. What I would say is the problem
Literally,
is once-
these people are just all awful. The civilians have nothing to do with it, yet they're the ones getting targeted. Fuck both these groups.
see that we can't do the Anton thing here because
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
but you can. No, you can. But what I was gonna say is, we'll let the fucking viewers decide. What I was gonna say though is, obviously a country has a right to retaliate, but my question starts to become, let's examine why the Palestinians had such fervor. And it's, yes, because they just are inherently anti-Semitic, many of them, but also, like, hey, back in 2006, there's a lot of fucking bombings that killed civilians by the Israelis, and understandably, they were not directly trying to kill civilians, but the groups embed themselves with the civilians. But hey, look, 2006, now it's 2023, well, now it's 24, but, the shit broke out. The shit broke out in 2006, 2023. Wow, that looks like young kids from that period are now grown up, and then they have this just an inherent hatred. And it's like, well, now you've killed like 40, 50,000 Palestinians, which is not a genocide, because if they wanted to do genocide, they'd nuke them. But like, okay, assuming this resolves itself at some point, like, what's gonna happen in 18 years from now? It's gonna be another shit bloodbath. But I'll tell you the solution, Fred. I'll give you the solution. The solution is there are a lot of Muslim countries around Israel, like Egypt. And the question to ask yourself is, why doesn't Egypt, which wouldn't hurt itself by taking in the 3 million or so Palestinians that exist, why won't Egypt take these people in? And then once you figure out the answer to that, then all of the problems that exist that aren't solved, and any questions you have about those problems that exist that aren't solved are answered. So I'm not going to explain why, but there's your answer. It's a question within a question. But no, I get what you're saying. And your overall point is I agree with. I'm just saying, like, there is some complexity here, but yes, at the end of the day,
I know there's complexity, but like at the end of the day,
if we're boiling it down, it's two groups of assholes.
Yeah, it's a bunch of assholes killing assholes, and some people who don't deserve anything getting caught in the middle.
And the hope is that one of these groups of assholes figures out a way to stop being an asshole. But they're
gonna keep going until one or the other or both are wiped off the face of the fucking earth.
And
the Gaza Strip's gonna be turned into glass. I'm sorry. I'm saddened by it. I don't want it to happen. But like, it's literally boiling over, and these people don't know how to stop. And they've been told, oh no, it's okay not to stop. They've been told by who? Their own ilk, their militaries, and the fucking internet. They keep egging them on.
Well, what really makes me laugh is the Ukraine debacle, because yes, blah 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 blah.
People kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, but it's still an ongoing thing, and I'll tell you, way more people have died in that conflict than have died in Israel-Palestine conflict, and it's mainly Ukrainians. And I love, though, that, like, the U.S., who usually plays the fucking world police position, in this one situation we're trying to actually trying to call on a ceasefire between the Israelis and Palestinians now, but with Ukraine and Russia, we are just going to continue to give the far weaker country weapons that are just kicking the can down the road.
Weapons and oil.
Well, but we know, Fred, that eventually Russia is going to defeat Ukraine, and the question is, why don't we give Ukraine an exit ticket, so when, like, negotiations start, Ukraine actually will be able to not give up as much territory as Russia wants. That would be the smart thing to do, But no, I remember seeing the Secretary of State that's like, we are not going to do anything until Ukraine is ready to talk to Russia. Well, Ukraine is never going to be ready to talk to Russia because you have a group of people that have the anger and stubbornness of the Russians, or Fred, mixed with the cluelessness of Poles. No offense to anybody that's Polish. I'm sorry. I don't mean every Pole. I just mean the ones that can't turn a light bulb. There you go.
Very hearty.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the Ukrainians are literally that mixture. It's the stubborn.
It's literally just having like a, not to be stereotypical, but it's literally like having an Irish Catholic, like unending fucking fury of God and also alcoholism.
I'm not alcoholic, Fred.
I mean, you never have a problem if you never admit it. Or
That's true.
Is that how the saying goes?
That's true.
No.
Fuck. But no. Yeah, no, like your assessment of the Middle East is correct. But like the thing that grinds my gears is the thing that's happening in Ukraine and Russia. And then like then
well,
this
you wanna know why I'm so fucking sour on it? For all this time, like people were like oh, and like end all conflicts. America shouldn't get involved. And, like keep out of it. The second like two conflicts spike up, not under Trump's reign, by the way.
Help us!
We gotta help everybody. Fuck you. Fuck off. If you're gonna say something, hold to it. Jesus Christ, it's not that hard.
I always said this about the situation. We shouldn't have given them a fucking single barrel of ammo. What we should have done is given them, you know, anybody that wanted to flee Ukraine, that wanted to come here, we should have brought them in, because for once, those would have been asylum seekers, and not only that, they would have been asylum seekers that are well educated, are Christian, and ready to integrate into American society, unlike most of the people that we've let in.
Yeah.
Not to say that not to say that, you know, like, not to say that that's perfect, but you know what I'm saying, like,
yeah,
you know, like Eastern Europeans, yeah, okay, they're not, you know, they might have to learn English, but guess what? Most of them have degrees, most of them can read, most of them can write, most of them could find some type of gainful skilled labor if they come to the United States, you know? And here's the thing that I want to say too, though. Even like on our border, I don't have, like, I'm not Trump where it's like, there's the Mexicans out. And like, there's obviously issues with bringing in people from Mexico that have like a fucking 8th grade education. But at the end of the day, most of the people that come over, even illegally, there's obviously a lot of bad apples that come over, but most of the people are hardworking Christians, but they're just not educated. But they end up, and they're going to suckle the tit of welfare, but then most of them end up becoming conservatives and hardworking people. Like, that's why even like Trump, even though he said some things that got like misinterpreted by the media, he still had more than half of the Latino vote, you know, in 2020, because they know that even if he says things that might not be the most eloquent, he doesn't have a problem with those people. And the problem is, though, like Europe. Look at what overrun Europe. It's not Christian people. It's people that want to destroy Christianity. And I'm not saying that Christianity is the end all be all, but like, look at the UK. They brought in mass people that want Sharia law, and I'm sorry, that's not going to work out for them.
Yeah.
This guy looks toasty.
It's Soup Man.
No human life
Crack open his
detected.
skull and get the
Captain,
juicy goodness inside.
He's one of them.
I think this is somebody that's got all of the booster vax. I mean,
We can't let him get out.
shit, I better not say that.
COVID.
What
COVID,
do you
Chief.
want us to do?
He's got, I think Cortana. I think this
Boost or
guy
die.
by the way, I hope Steve Dowles holds his principles, because he's doing a meetup with Marty,
We should go.
you know, the composer that's now a neo-Nazi because he happens to be a Republican.
Let's
Yeah.
go back to the shuttle bay and find
Him
a
and
ride.
Gentile, or the three of them, are doing like a Halo reunion, and I hope that
that'd
they
be cool.
stick to it. I hope they stick to it, and they actually can show, oh look, we might not even agree with this guy's politics, but we can still be friends. You know, this guy, just because this guy happens to be a fucking Republican doesn't mean that he wants to fucking, doesn't mean that he's a hateful person. You know, the guy isn't.
Die.
Yeah. Well, it's just like what was
Because you
the
think an open borders policy is a bad idea.
Yeah, some Troon went to was it? I think it might have been even GDC, and they brought a fully they brought it was one of these conventions where they brought a fully automatic weapon and basically threatened to shoot any transphobes allegedly.
That is. Where'd you get that fucking gun, buddy? Did you make it? That's a felony.
Well,
Did you buy
technically,
it? That's a felony.
you could technically. Yeah, you're probably right, but there actually are a couple of weird situations where you can actually.
Well,
legally.
do you think this person would go through the effort to buy it?
No, I don't.
To purchase a tax on it? Why are you standing still?
Because I fucking just accidentally hit something and knocked my controller off the fucking. That's why I'm standing still.
An episode of Game Blather without a technical difficulty. Speaking of which, how's the audio?
It's
Let's go back to the shuttle bay and
nice.
find a
It's
ride.
going good. But no, yeah. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, originally, before we even got on this tangent, this is like fucking an hour ago, I was saying to people, like, we're probably looking into doing like a stream of Final Fantasy 14 because Fred is lucky enough to be on Xbox where it's literally free to play right now. And I've been playing quite a bit of that game. Oh, look, there's one of these little birdie cocksuckers.
You want to know the only thing that I think is gonna screw me? The people who basically play that game like often enough or at least full time. Well, vice versa, like full time or often enough. Those people like get bonus and stuff, which add more time to their thing anyway. So they don't actually, if they play it consistently enough, like need to pay for the subscription. They just get like portions of it for free. I don't think Xbox like users are gonna get that because it's gonna be free for the time being. So by the time I get to the point where I get to play with you guys, it's probably gonna fuck me.
No, because Austin has it on PlayStation now. You'll have to buy, like, they're coming out with a new expansion in later this year. It'll be like $40 or $50.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you'll actually get the same thing that Austin has because Austin doesn't have to pay monthly.
What's going on?
Which is weird.
I'm teleporting. Walk forward. My eyes. I feel like I was having a stroke.
What the fuck?
Because we were on the level transition.
I wonder if that would break the game. It probably would if I kept fucking.
You know what? I think this game is too stable to like break in that way.
I was trying to move forward though. I actually had to kind of like skirt to the left.
Well, it's because every time like you like moved like backwards then forward, I would teleport backwards and then you would teleport backwards. So basically, we got stuck in a feedback loop.
But I was gonna say, Austin on PlayStation, he's got it. He's free until level 80, but he has the game, I think. So.
Yeah.
But I think they'll extend that to Xbox because they know that once somebody gets to level 80, it's basically black tar heroin, and people at that point will most likely pay to get the monthly service. But
your Banshee's empty and flying.
it's got fucking autopilot.
It's 343 guilty spark flying next to me.
But what I was gonna say is,
you're not going to destroy my installation, are you? I will fuck your ass, Reclaimer.
There's not a lot of people that have the potential setup that I've been kind of discussing with you. Where like we both have like we have like a two gameplay setup that we can switch back and forth between. I think that would actually be pretty cool and novel, especially for an MMO.
Hmm. I just hope the footage doesn't get like really weird. So is it something that you control the toggle on, or?
Yeah. Well, and also we would, assuming that we get viewers, we could have someone be our like we could have someone manage this Austin could manage the stream.
Like our very own Taryn Gill.
Well, he'd also probably join in playing too.
Oh yeah.
But he would be like but he'd still, because you and I are the yappers.
Should I do my stereotypical thing with RPGs and just make myself, or should I actually like go fucking stereotype and like go actual player stereotype and just make my waifu?
Well, I've already got 3 characters. I have one that I feel like resembles me. Then I have one that's kind of just like my default character I try to make with an RPG. And then I have the fucking batshit dragon dude.
Batshit dragon dude. I like that.
And then Austin made a cat boy archer for himself.
Can you
We can use the captain's
Just
neural
committed
implants to
suicide.
initiate an overload of the ship's
Oh,
fusion
God.
engines. The explosion should damage enough
I'm here,
systems
Fred.
below it to destroy
can
the
you
brain.
believe that we're on the last level?
I can. Almost.
Let's get to the fucking army and make this get to the fucking armory.
Have you
make
started
it a party.
downloading? Have you started downloading Final Fantasy 14?
Oh shit. No, not yet.
Oh. Because I was gonna say
because earlier I was actually like playing. I've been trying to get back into Cyberpunk.
you know, I got to get that game because someone we'll name.
Oh,
him.
I'm dead.
Mr. Tatters has been communicating how good that game is now.
It is.
And I'm the one thing that I'm a stubborn prick on is when a game fucks me at launch. But even this game has been so it's redeemed. It seems to have redeemed itself so much that I am probably going to get it again.
One thing Jack always brings up, like to the point where I'm like, yeah, people did kind of fucking forget about that. Do you remember how abysmal Witcher 3 was at launch?
Which I didn't play because of that. I still haven't played Witcher 3 because of that.
Well, it just goes hand in hand. Like, back to what I said before as well. Like, people are so forgiving for certain, like, wow, I just got to kill Atrocity, I think.
I think you did.
But, oh god, I half jumped from that. Back to what I was saying, but like people are so willful to like forget about like games they like having issues at launch, because every game has issues at launch at this point. No game is release finished, and it pisses me off, except for Japanese games, but we don't talk about that.
Well, and only about half the Japanese games, to be honest.
Fair enough. But like it's to the point where people are so willfully ignorant for like the games that they're excited for and the games that they want to play that like unfortunately like even if a game like redeems itself, you always have that one guy in the room who's like, yeah, but it was broken at launch, so bad game.
Yeah, well, and I definitely, I'm just not forgiving, but I will admit to games that fix
I'm not
themselves.
forgiving either. But like, at least
I'm
Fred, willing to give a game a chance.
You're a little bit. Well, I am too. It takes a lot of convincing for me to open up to something if I got burned. Case in point, Fallout 76. For that game, I don't care.
Speaking of broken games, I do want to get the Stalker collection.
I was gonna get it too, but I went on Good Old Games and it's $12.97 on there, so I know where I'm getting it. But
nice.
that you have
is that the fully patched version? Watch out.
They are, and they also have fully patched Fear 1 and 2 on there for dirt cheap. And you know what the good thing about? Are you familiar with Good Old Games? I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You're not usually on PC. It's
I know
DRM.
what it is.
Okay, it's for anybody uninitiated though. It's DRM free. Everything on there. So it's the one. It's pretty much the only digital game store where you actually have ownership.
Where are we supposed to go? Okay.
This way. It's the only digital game store where you actually have full ownership over what you buy.
Well, yeah.
And honestly, it's actually kind of the best way to buy unless you're getting, well, even compared to some physical games, because if you're getting a physical game on a system where they don't put the full game on there, Literally, GOG is better because at least you can make like 30 fucking copies of it on 30 different flash drives, and you have complete, like I said, complete ownership over it. That's why we need, in my opinion, I'm not somebody that likes big government, but we really do need like congressional fucking regulations over physical media. Where like, if you're buying,
it's the funny thing about government. They regulate the shit out of things that don't need regulation, and something that legit needs like rules about ownership. Like, I don't know, video games literally has in like American law, as I found out, like written written cases where it's like, no, you don't fucking own a thing. What did you think was this mattered? This piece of paper? It doesn't equal gold. It's a fucking coupon.
which is why like this shit needs to be updated for the modern for the modern.
Well, that's why Ross Scott he's pushing to like make waves in like Europe and Australia, because they don't have very clear and concise rules about this. Unfortunately, one court case in the U.S. kind of fucked up any chance of getting any like decent legislation. But if he makes a precedent elsewhere, some other countries might follow suit. At least that's the idea.
Well, and I
probably won't happen that way, but yeah.
And I have a lot of issues with the EU, but occasionally they'll do something better than we do. And the one thing that they're like better with is like regulating monopolies. Like they've gone after Apple for years, and now our government's finally doing it. But the way our government's doing it's fucking retarded. They're going over after Apple because Apple doesn't like let you use the Apple Watch on an Android phone, which is stupid. Who the fuck cares about that? Nobody that buys an Android phone wants an Apple Watch.
The reason why Apple is fucking scummy is because you can't fix it outside of an Apple store. You can't pay like fucking Android prices on a fucking Apple phone. From what I heard earlier, like Epic Games, hate Epic Games. I think it's a shit company. I hate Fortnite. But like legit, like I heard from one of my buddies like today while I was working. He was actually explaining like it in layman's terms, and apparently like for Fortnite on Apple, like things were like prices for stuff were like doubled, and like Apple was pocketing half
Store
of it.
fees.
Yeah.
And that's my big issue
up.
with it. Well, that's my big issue with Apple's, like, that's the one thing where the government needs to step in and regulate Apple, because a company is going to do greedy shit like that if they have a large market share. And Europe is, you know what Europe's doing? The one thing I can give them credit for is they're forcing Apple to make it so that you can sideload apps onto your iPhone, just like you can on a Mac. I have a Mac. So there's an app store on Mac from Apple, but I can go on any website and download any app because it's a real operating system. And the iPhone is a fucking little pocket supercomputer. You know what I mean? There's no reason why in this day and age I shouldn't be able to go on to Steam and download a separate Steam app without Apple's approval. So that's the big issue I have with Apple, that and the right to repair shit. Although I will say, like, I know Louis Rossman, I love the guy, but he's also like incredibly rigid, and he needs to be. But I will give Apple some credit. They've made it a lot easier to repair their newer phones. The one thing that sucks is like not everybody's gonna get a new phone right away. So people that have that aren't gonna upgrade right away are still gonna get fucked in the ass with their bullshit shit. But they have actually made it easier to like pop out the battery, which should have been the case 10 years ago. You know, the problem is it's lobbying, it's greed. You know, you're fucked either way, because Apple's overpriced, but Google sells all of your data. Like Google does, like everything you do on a Google phone is fucking sold to the highest bidder. So it all sucks. It's all fucking gay and it all sucks.
Well, it's like I've listened to people bring up this point time and time again about video games, but it's like literally these practices, they didn't happen overnight. They were very, very small and implemented very slowly. And like every single time there was a new little thing that kind of annoyed you, it's like, yeah, but the rest of the platform's still all right, so I'll give a little, but I'll get more in return.
5,000 cuts.
And it's gotten to the point where legit we're at the 1,000th cut and we're bleeding out on the floor, and it's like, this is horse shit. I can't do anything with this. Well, you were happy about it before. There's nothing left. I don't have anything more to give. Well, we still expect more from you. Otherwise, we're shutting off your product. Agree to the terms and service where we get to sew your lips to your ass.
Like, I'll actually agree with Razor's position on fucking public domain shit. I think if a company wants to own the rights to something in perpetuity, let them. But at the same time, if they make it impossible for you to own something or to be able to like buy something that's like older, like legally, then it should automatically go into
it
the
should
public
immediately
domain.
go into public domain. If you're not going to keep selling it, what is the point of you even fucking owning it?
Yeah. Because look at all the old games, dude, that have been. Did I tell you that statistic? It's from It's actually from the Strong Museum. Remember how like there was a chick at the convention that went through. Like, you know, 89% of old games are completely lost. Yeah. So the vast majority of old games are completely lost. They're not preserved.
Well, it's only recently when people have gotten like the chance to like play some of these things and legit like after some of these things gain at least a modicum of traction, like archivists are like, where did you fucking find that? Can I scan that? Can I download it? Can you give me the files? And they'll put it down so it like can't get lost digitally at least it's on a server. Yeah. But somebody at like EA would look like, this is just hypothetical because I don't know if there's any lost media from EA, but there probably is thousands of games that got lost over time by those fuckers. But like, it's like having.
What's funny?
What's up?
Go ahead. What's funny is I will give EA some credit, even though they're a shit company. They actually put a bunch of their old games back on Steam. But you know what? At the same time, I won't give them credit because that should have been the case for years. People should have been able to buy these games for years.
Well, it's like, as I was saying, basically, like, I lost my train of thought. I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry. You were talking about how, like, these archivists finally get a hold of these games that have been, like, fucking lost, and how, like, a company like EA, I think what you're about to say is something along the lines like a company like EA could just hold on to these games and not do anything.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, here's a more, like, layman's, like, sort of description. Like digital cameras were invented way before they ever got released. Like pretty much, wasn't it like the digital camera got invented like 10 years before it got released because Polaroid was worried that would take away from film sales. Yeah, kind of like that, except these people utterly don't give a fuck about the media, or at least like mishandled it in the early aughts. And like now, it's to the point where you can't even access some of this stuff. You literally need workaround upon workaround and a physical copy to even get this shit working.
And it's prohibitively like, and then these assholes that are like, oh, you shouldn't emulate. It's like, you know what? I like to try to get games physically, like for GameCube and shit. But at the same time, A, it's cost prohibitive, and B, at some point, even the most durable cartridge-based games, like, maybe not in our lifetimes, but like in a couple hundred years, even the cartridge-based games will stop working. So we need to have like some kind of fucking like long-term archival backup of this shit, like a fucking Rosetta Stone or some shit. Yeah.
Because like, you know me, I'm all about physical media, but I'm not like completely ignorant to the fact that like
it's not gonna last forever, ever. Yeah.
Like,
it's gonna last a lifetime, but it's gonna last a human lifetime. But like long term, like it's not gonna, like a DVD eventually, even if it lasts like 100, 200 years, you know, eventually it's gonna fucking fall apart. It's, you know, and it's like, well, like I love physical media too, and I like that video that Metal Jesus was about, because like all the people there, even if their perspectives were different, they all had a point. Like fucking like Classic Game Room said, like it's kind of sad because like in a way, like true physical media is already kind of like, obviously there's still a niche of it, but it's already kind of dead because so many games aren't even fucking fully completed anymore. Or like
what's actually funny is like I actually like accidentally hit the eject button before we started the stream, and the fucking disc for Master Chief Collection popped out. And I put it back in, and there was no issues. I didn't lose my place. I didn't have to restart the game. And pretty much, it's a glorified key for a download. It's depressing.
Yep.
What you're saying? Oh shit.
Well, yeah, it's a glorified key for download, and like there obviously are still people that like put the full game onto this, but even then, like half the time the game isn't fully patched. But even
Yeah.
if it is, like that's because that's like it's just like I love physical. I think we're always gonna have physical. But and the thing is, like these assholes thought they were gonna get like Zoomers to not care about physical, but Zoomers are the fucking pretentious assholes that brought back vinyl records. So for all their faults, they care about fucking physical, even if it's because they're pretentious assholes. You know? And that's like, okay, maybe one day, like they'll fucking at the end of the day, like consoles, the whole reason people buy consoles and like don't buy a PC is because they want something that's easy and that they have ownership over, you know? And when they take those two things away, convenience and ownership, people aren't going to keep buying consoles. So like Sony could keep trying to like do this fucking stupid ass shit where they have a discless PS5. Like at least Microsoft, I can give them some credit with like the Series S, because for all like okay, it's discless, but also it's like half the price of the other console, and like that's their whole entire business model is built on Game Pass for better and for worse. But like Sony is charging $50 less for a console that's like completely gimped. Not $250 less, but $50 less, and that's fucking asinine. And not to mention that, like, at least on Xbox, not to jerk off digital, but like at least like all of my shit on 360 I can still download. Sony, Sony on the other hand is
They
a hot
keep
mess
trying to
maker.
kill their fucking online support.
Yeah, well, and also every single game they've ever made that has online that was good, they've killed off. You know what I mean? They like fucking I actually like the Uncharted multiplayer. That shit's dead as a doorknob.
Oh yeah, Uncharted
Fucking-
multiplayer was just fun. It's literally you just get to jump around all over the place and like shoot people.
Wait, you're saying that's what makes a good game is fun, Fred? You better fucking be careful.
No, it needs to have a spoken word segment, needs to preach at you, and like some ogreish thing needs to flash what looks like a pussy at you.
By the way, when you fucked up when Boogie bodies you, which is what he did to that. And look, I don't like Boogie. I think he's a fucking crazy fucking glaucal asshole. But he was like, he actually made a point like that was coherent about like, hey, like the reason why people are bitching about Sweet Baby is because people want games that are fun. They don't want to be like fucking patronized. And then this fat fuck Ethel's defender, Tipster, whatever the fuck his name is, basically tried to like go after Boogie. And Boogie actually for once in his life, Boogie didn't apologize. He actually stood up for himself. He didn't turn himself into some fucking whiny little cunt after somebody criticizes him. He actually stood up for himself, which shocked me. But also at the same time, like I said, if Boogie 2988 makes you look like a fucking idiot, then you're a fucking idiot. Like this guy, like, oh, Sweet Baby is just a consulting firm. They don't do anything with their games. But then at the same time,
That's literally the whole
like,
point of a consulting firm.
they have no pull in the industry. And like these people, and by the way, at the same time, they kind of admit that they're bullshitting, because then they're like, if we didn't have firms like Sweet Baby, it'd be toxic. It's like, well, what is it? Is Sweet Baby the savior of the industry, or are they a nothing burger? Tell me. Don't
They have
piss on
to
me and tell me it's
keep
raining.
moving the goalpost, otherwise you're gonna like, otherwise they're gonna, I don't know, fucking.
But by the way,
Everybody knows these people are liars, so I don't know what they're trying to do.
I said this before Razorfist did. I said it to you. I said you said it too. Like, Sweet Baby is not the only fucking group in this industry that is doing that shit.
Oh, yeah.
There's like, by the way, Anita Sarkeesian literally had, like, she did a tactical retreat, the cunt. She knew Feminist Frequency's like grift was up, so she just got silent, and now she's marrying herself as a birthday celebration. I don't know if you see that. Did you see that?
It's so I'm confused. Is she actually getting married or is it just her birthday?
It was just her birthday.
That's fucking depressing. You want to have the ceremony, but you don't want to actually marry the fucking guy you're cucking. Okay. Like, I guess I understand, but you really should go with Brad the Bull.
Do you think that whiny? Remember that Macintosh guy that was like on there that we ripped into his asshole? Do you think he was fucking Anita? Do you think he was like?
Nah, he's a fucking idiot.
I think he was like so beta cucked that he couldn't even get into Anita.
Well, it's just fucking stupid. Like, all these people were so fucking sure of themselves. Like, do you remember, like, oh god, what was the fucking video? Was it like, no, it was like 100 reasons why, like, men are listened to over women or some shit.
Yeah.
And, like, literally it's just a bunch of people just, like, fucking, like, pouring out their masculine guilt and just being like, this is why I feel terrible to be a man. And, like, it ends off with, like, just because I'm a man and I'm speaking in this video, people will take my message more seriously, even if it were to come out of a woman's mouth. And I'm like, nobody takes you seriously, asshole, because you're a fucking charlatan. You're a liar. You
and
have
then
no
these
spine, no spirit, you're fucking empty.
And that was like about 10 years ago, right? Like around the Gamergate fiasco.
Oh, that was that fucking stupid shit. Everybody was fucking stupid in that. It pisses me off. I'm trying not to get angry, but it pisses me off. Ah.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, Fred? Here, cause and effect. These are the same people that can't figure out why, like Gen Z males have become so conservative. Like, because like when we were like around the age of like high school seniors, it's not like we were like super liberals, but we weren't like, I would say you and I were pretty center of the road, right? We weren't fucking. But like
I would still consider myself to be very moderate.
Yeah, well, I guess I could in some ways too, but maybe not. Well, but anyways, you know, having said that, like the average high school male is like far more right wing than we were at that point. And the reason but then it's like, what is this because?
Well, it's to the point where it's starting to annoy me because they're following people like Nick Fuentes and fucking Andrew Tate. Ugh.
Well, and by the way, they're not the reason why people shifted. The reason people shifted is because you kept telling these young men that they can't. They first of all, I think incels are stupid fucking faggots. But at the same time, there's a reason why.
Well, the moment you call yourself an incel, that's just you admitting I gave up.
But at the same time, these are guys. There's a reason why they exist, and there's so many of them, or there's so many that are like, at that point.
All you have to do is admit, I don't know how to fucking talk to women. Don't just give up and be like, I'm involuntarily celibate. No, fuck that. You just don't know how to talk to chicks.
No, 100%. You're 100% right. But at the same time, it's like these people are trying to diagnose why it happens. Well, the reason it happens is because you made any positive masculinity and you grouped it into all the negative aspects of masculinity. Meanwhile, everything about femininity you promoted as being noble, which is now kind of falling apart too, because even like girl power can't be girl power anymore because they've let fucking chicks with dick have girl power. Yeah. So like even the batshit crazy people from 10 years ago can't cut the batshit crazy of today. It's fucking hilarious. It's like they've dug their own grave. Why are all these young men so right wing? Because they're fucking. They have no other choice. It's called self-preservation. And yeah, I agree with you. Like some of them are fucking.
It's literally at the point where like these guys who have been told like everything about them is wrong their entire lives, and they're just sitting there playing their video games, like going to the gym, and it's like everything you're doing is wrong. That's toxic behavior. And it's like I'm taking care of my health. I have a hobby. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why won't you fucking leave me alone? Like,
That should do
seriously.
enough damage to
Well, and the
destroy Haven.
irony is,
Don't worry, I have
it-
access to all of the reactors
it's only going to get
plans and
worse because they're
procedures.
not the people on the left are not going to
First, we
learn to
need to
try
pull
to
back the exhaust
compromise or have
That
any
will
like
expose a shaft
compassion
that leads
or
to the
empathy,
primary
even though they
fusion
like to
drive
present
core.
themselves as being empathetic. Their empathy's very shallow, and it's only to people that that are part of their fucking cult. It's just like the most racist shit you'll ever
Good.
hear are
Step
from
one
people
complete.
that
We have a
that
syringe
see a,
shot to
like
the
a
fusion reactor.
minority that
We need a
isn't
catalyst
part of their
explosion
group
to
thing.
destabilize the
Yeah.
magnetic containment field surrounding
Watch
the
how the
fusion
hard
cell.
R gets thrown out when that guy pops up into the picture.
Like I'm not saying there isn't like racists on the right, but they're pretty obvious. There's no like they don't hide. Like they're
Yeah.
just they'll just say the N-word and have go on their merry way. Where people on
Well,
the
it's
left,
like, and usually these people are either like really young douchebags or really fucking old.
yeah, there's not a lot of, and usually the really young douchebags don't really mean it. They're just fucking idiots.
No, I'm sure some of the young douchebags mean it. They just want to hurt somebody.
Well,
It really depends. Like, are you saying it?
okay,
like,
let me put it this.
Are you saying it like in hatred? Or are you saying it in jest? That's really like even with bad words, there is nuance.
Let me put it this way then. They mean it to cause pain, but these are kind of like people without they really don't have the people that are young that say that shit. Most of the time are not true believers. They're just saying it because they want to cause somebody else suffering.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what fucking venue they do it through. They'll find that just happens to be an easy way to do it.
Ooh. Lasers.
I've been watching a lot of like Marine boot camp videos, and it's kind of amazing. It's amazing though from like a psychological perspective to see people be broken. It's amazing from a psychological perspective to see like the Marines do it the best of breaking someone down to build them back up, which is also something that doesn't exist anymore in the greater culture. I'm not saying that like kids when they go through school need to be like brought into Marine boot camp, but like in some ways being prepared to become a citizen, you kind of have to like grow as an individual.
Well,
to
the
reach.
problem is like the second some of these guys like face any amount of adversity, they immediately grab their dad's shotgun and go to Walmart because they've never faced any adversity before, nothing major at least. Like you and I have fucking had to suffer to get to where we were. Like we're still not out of the woodwork. We're still like fucking struggling day to day. But the difference between us and some of these like people who were already mentally ill but never really wanted to get better. Like the problem with these guys is they just like want to do that to their best friend.
Yeah.
But like seriously, like it's a vicious cycle of just people who like don't have any impulse control, losing all fucking control.
Well, and by the way, a lot of these young guys don't have any friends. I don't even mean like sheltered nerds like when we grew up that had at least somebody online that was a friend. Like these people have nobody.
Yeah.
And usually they're single parent, usually single mom households. You know, like no positive male role models in their life.
Yeah.
Probably douchebag teachers. You know. That don't understand their situation, and like it's just sad. It's fucking sad, and then it's sad too that we have a society that just we have a this is what somebody said on X, and we have a very sick society in more ways than one. You know what I seen the other day on X, Fred? I'll tell you. I seen a man in California take a severed leg from someone on a train track and start eating the leg. This is very recent. And I said to myself, yes. It was right on the front page of X. And I said to myself,
this wasn't like a clip from a zombie movie.
This is not no, this was like lively footage. This was a real thing. It was reported on by like certain publications that. Well, I'm not trying to get us. I'm not trying to put us in a depressing thought pattern, but I did think about.
Was there at least an explanation why?
Well, the guy was zoinked out of his. Well, the guy was zoinked out of his mind on
Oh,
whatever
it was
fucking.
it was bath salts. We're about to see a resurgence. Zombies
Well, it's
rise
opium.
up.
Well, and I said to myself.
Oh God, no!
I said to
What the
myself,
fuck? Grab that rocket launcher.
Where the fuck are you? Where's the rocket launcher?
To your left.
Where? Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Oh, all right. Come on, reload, you fucking piece of shit!
Yeah, wait.
Not acceptable, Reclaimer.
Hit it.
Must surrender
But-
the construct.
They're all on opioids, so it's like that fucking fentanyl and shit. And can I not to get? Oh, well, I am fucking aiming higher.
You're hitting the middle part.
Ah! Did I get
Alright.
it?
The bus is about to fucking explode. Let's get off the bang bus before it goes bang.
Where?
Engine's gone critical. Based on the current rate of decay, we should have 15 minutes to get off the ship.
Where are we
Don't
going?
have much time. We should
We
move
have 15
outside and
minutes?
signal for evac. Accessing schematics. There's a service lift at the top of the engine.
What I was gonna say
Leads
is,
to a Class 7
China
service
is the
corridor
one
that
that's
runs
like the
along
major
ship's dorsal
opium
structure.
doubler, and it's funny because we
We're going the
like,
wrong way. Fuck.
Yeah, we gotta go up this way. It's funny because like China was the one that was addicted to opium, but now they're the ones pushing these like prescriptions that are why people end up on the street eventually.
Well,
chewing
plus
on life.
it's also one of the reasons Japan has such strict drug laws, because like imports of opium from China got so bad to the point where they were like, no drugs at all, fuck you all, fuck off, we'll put you to death if you bring drugs here.
And by the way, it's one of the reasons why the Japanese have like a seething hatred of the Chinese, and even they even commissioned an academic research trying to compare Chinese people to monkeys. Not that I'm saying that was right that they did that. I'm not.
It's like that one
but-
bizarre scene from Killer 7 where you just come into the room with like the I think it was like the fucking DOJ like head and like a Japanese prime minister and like a bunch of like other like Americans and Japanese like big shots are in the room just like playing cards, shitting on each other, like calling each other monkeys and dogs and shit, and then like one of them comes up with like a straight like a like a straight flush in the card game they were playing, and they all just pull out their guns and it's like, well, and then this way, and they all shoot each other.
But you know who's really been
so
pissed-
fucking bizarre.
You know who's been really grinding my gears lately, Fred?
The
The British.
Oh god.
They just like there's one asshole that was like
Just a bunch of
attacking-
uppity yuppies.
Well, these British conservatives, like fucking Sargon and like somebody else I actually was this guy I used to follow on X, and then I got into an argument with him during the George Floyd thing because he tried to pin our police issues on the British police issues, and then I unfollowed him. And it's just this guy that's like terminally limey that like probably could have a lot more friends
Did
in
you say
America.
terminally whiny or terminally whimy?
The second one.
Like
Well,
my
like,
Hot Wheels car?
Oh, beautiful. But like, there's like the problem is these fucking Brits that still have a hatred of Irish people. You know, the people that they shitted on and fucking famined and fucking, you know, like I have like 90% shared culture with, but for some reason treat like shit. And they let a bunch of migrants in that don't speak English and aren't
Old
Christian.
habits
but
die
they-
hard.
Well, it's like like this fucking limey conservative cocksucker on X. Ugh, I don't understand why the Americans have such a fascination with Irish. Well, maybe because fucking like 12% of Americans, like over fucking 50 million of us in this country, have
up.
Irish fucking blood to some degree. And
Yeah,
secondly,
like
the
all of
Irish
us
busted
escaped
their
you,
ass.
asshole.
They were treated like shit, and you know, like they were treated. Other than the fact that they weren't enslaved, they were treated as badly as blacks were at that time period. The KKK targeted fucking Irish Catholics just as much as they targeted black people. In the early years of the KKK, at least. Obviously later they focused more so on black people. But it's like Irish people fucking built this country. And obviously Italians did when they came, and Germans did when they came, and Eastern Europeans did when they came. But like
without
the
the
Irish
Chinese, we wouldn't have railroads. Like
that too.
Without the Chinese and Irish.
The Chinese and Irish built a lot of shit in this country, and like, so well, I don't know why the American system of government is built on the British. Well, you know what, cocksucker? The people that built this country weren't all fucking British descendants, and I like. There's some good salt of the earth people in Great Britain, but the people that are like these fucking like even like Sargon, I'm sorry. Like being these uppity fucking stiff-lipped fucking retards, you're not gonna make any fucking friends with that shit. And you know, just fucking stop being such fucking. Stop being. You have a country that's fucking.
Well, stop being so fucking pedantic when your shit stinks just as much.
Yeah. At least we don't have mass shootings like the Americans do. Well, you guys have knife crime. You guys don't have any fucking. You put a fucking Scottish prick in prison because his dog did a Heil Hitler salute.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, fucking, like, how many fucking kids in your fucking country are hooked on drugs before they're even out of fucking diapers?
How about the fact that their most famous fucking radio producer raped like 200 kids?
What? I thought that I thought Jimmy Savile was a good guy.
I seen before that guy, like all that came out, I just seen that guy's face once and like that guy looks like a fucking creep. And I usually don't judge.
Like, wasn't his last words like, "I hope God has forgiven me for what I've done"? It's like, motherfucker, you deserve to burn in hell. Shut up.
Cortana to Echo 419.
Wow, this moment's sad.
Evade. Say again, evade.
This has more emotion in it than the whole little fucking.
Echo 419.
She's dead, Cortana. Yeah, get that fucker. Get those fuckers.
One longsword fighter is still docked in Launch Bay 7. If we move now, we can make it.
There we go.
Alright. Revenge. That always twisted me up to imagine what if she actually landed. Like, what if she actually landed on the planet?
Sergeant Johnson saved her. They fuck on the way back.
I do love how like one of the books explains like Chief just picks him up in a fucking like random ship, and Sergeant Johnson like they point a gun at each other and it's like, you're supposed to be fucking dead, and it's like, I thought you were supposed to be dead.
Nice armor, Chief.
God, Sergeant Johnson's so fucking cool. It almost like makes me thankful that he's not in the Halo show, because they would have ruined him. Because like literally like Sergeant Johnson's kind of like Black Dynamite. He's just a fucking dynamic, like just like loudmouth but really cool black dude.
And once again, it's so sad to see every like black male character be so demasculated.
Oh yeah, Sergeant Johnson would just be like some like fresh-faced plucky recruit. Like, you wouldn't even have a mustache in the TV show. He'd be like,
they'd have that.
I don't know, Sergeant Vagina Man.
They'd have that little black gay guy play him. What is Little Nas X? What a fucking Sergeant Johnson played by Little Nas X.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh god, you're best not knowing. Dave Chappelle did a whole bit on him. He is a character. Anyways, yeah, I mean,
We're cutting it close.
like even like this is my problem with Spider-Man 2's Miles Morales. Like in the first game, it was that he's actually a pretty like normal teen, but then in the second one, they basically just made him whitewashed or blackwashed or whatever, Peter Parker.
Oh, he's
and,
just a mouthpiece. that
Yeah, and they
mouthpiece
made
is
him.
bisexual.
By the way, and I said this on X. I said, um, there's no way that like a black Hispanic teen from fucking Brooklyn is going to be as politically correct as they make Miles Morales out to be. I'm not saying that he needs to go around saying the N-word or like talking like fucking hood talk, but they made him way too clean cut of a fucking like character to be accurate, relatable, or interesting. Like how about make because we already know Peter
that's
Parker.
not even the biggest issue. Like, him being clean cut ain't the fucking issue. It's the fact that he's a fucking whipped bitch.
Well, he's a whipped bitch
He's just a fucking errand boy who doesn't have his own identity, so his first and last lines of every fucking like comic he's in that's fucking bad is, "What would Peter do?"
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything. Like, he doesn't have himself. Like, literally, any writer's biggest problem when writing for Miles Morales starts and ends at his race. If they can get past the fact that he is black and he wears a Spider-Man suit, that's great. You're gonna have a really good Miles story. But the fact that everybody just writes him as Black Spider-Man is the reason that he's so fucking denigrated.
We did what we had to do for Earth.
Here comes the line,
An
Fred.
entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the
We
Flood.
did what we had to do,
We had
Chief.
no choice.
Those children were evil.
Halo, it's finished.
No. I think we're
No,
just
this-
getting started.
Just getting started. Oh, what a line. What a delivery. That's just the perfect... Isn't that just the perfect way to end a game?
He forgot to depressurize the longsword, so he pulls off his helmet and his head pops like it
And
fucking
you know,
Fallout.
the funny thing is, it's kind of like the end of Metroid Prime 1. Like when Samus is looking at that fucking whole shit show blowing up and she's standing there and she looks like a fucking like dominatrix. I kind of like the Metroid Prime 1 Samus look. There's
Oh,
something.
yeah.
No, I like how Samus evolved. Like I like the big titty zero suit kind of anime waifu look too. But there's something that gets my blood pumping about Metroid Prime 1 Samus. It looks like she
Jesus
could
Christ.
fucking put a cigarette out on.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Let's get deeper. Let's get darker.
But no, Fred.
Show me
I'm
what
saying-
part of you want the cigarette put out on, Ray.
That's Fred. You're
Tip of the
you're-
penis
you're-
or one of the balls?
Yeah, but listen.
Yeah!
The point. No, I'm just fucking around. But the
I'm
point is, that's like there's games like this, and there's games like Metroid Prime 1. That's like the first. Well, Metroid Prime 1, even though it's not the first in the Metroid series, it's the first in like a very different like rendition of the series. And this is the first game in Halo. And both of those games are like, you know what they have that gets both of them like to the finish line and makes them like masterpieces, even if they're not perfect. Because I love both those games, but yeah, this game has like a couple levels that are pains in the ass. Metroid Prime
Library's
1.
the fucking worst.
Metroid Prime 1 has some fucking annoying enemies at times, but both of these games are very confident. And they're not confident in like a cocky way. They're confident in a way that they're it's just they have a presence. They have a standing power, even though they're the first entry in something. Sort of like when you watch the first Alien or the first Star Wars, or you know, the first in a series, something that's like very widely loved. Like it's fucking has a presence. It has a fucking definite. Well, it's got an achievement. It's got a definite fucking arc to it, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. This campaign doesn't overstay its welcome. Fucking Metroid Prime 1 doesn't overstay its welcome. And there's something to be said about that. And I don't know what you want to do, if you want to keep doing this, the stream, if you want to, you know.
I don't know. Do you want to switch games? Because like I'd like to stop the stream and like restart it with a different title if we're gonna do a different game. But that's up to you. I'm still game.
would, but I'm still game too. You'd have to tell me what game you'd want to do next, though.
Oh God.
So we can kind of get people pumped up for whatever we're going to next.
What do we have?
We
in
can do a
common?
Halo
What do you-
game. We got a Gears games. We got let's see. I'm looking through my library. Fucking what's co-op?
That is a good question.
I'm good for anything though.
You know, we'll take like a 15-minute break to decide what we're playing next, and then we'll come back. How about that?
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in.
You guys have a good one. I'm sure we'll
Alright.
be back immediately with something worth playing.
Yes.